right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Thank you very much, Ken. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Fan Cave. This is where we chat sports every single night of the week at 412-575-2600. Tweet at KD Pomp or at Chris Mueller PGH, and we'll be happy to take your tweets and comment on them as well. But we'll begin here as we welcome in Chris Mueller up at 93.7 The Fan, part of the PM team every day, 2 to 6. Chris, how are you, number one? Number two, 8-0 start. How good are the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I'm doing very well. First off, thanks for asking, Pomp. Hope you are as well. Two, how good are the Pittsburgh Steelers? Well, let me first explain why I'm going Christmas in November here, which isn't as funny.
I just saw it. I didn't know you were wearing that tonight.
I know. Christmas in November, not nearly as funny as Christmas in July, but because Dallas was in such a giving mood to basically hand the Steelers that game with a very ill-advised turnover, a horrible penalty or two along the way that helped the Steelers, I figured it was appropriate to bring presents to mind since Dallas was handing them out left and right. Listen, I'll make this clear. I got a lot of flack on Twitter for saying I don't think they're the best team in football. I think that designation belongs with the Chiefs, who I know had their own battle yesterday with kind of a lesser-than opponent. But the Steelers are getting to nitpick their performances. People like me are getting to poke holes in the things they're not doing well after wins. Mike Tomlin seems acutely aware of the fact that if they keep playing like this, though, they're going to be starting to talk about some of these deficiencies with numbers in the loss column other than 0. So I think they're aware of it, but they're still one of the 2 or 3 best teams in football. They just really did not look impressive at all in that game at any point, and it was kind of frustrating to watch them sleepwalk through a first half, I thought.
It was, but I also will chalk a little bit of it up to playing third game in a row on the road, and you know, they were some pretty emotional games against Tennessee and against Baltimore, so I think that did factor in. I watched the Ravens go through the same sleepwalking exercise in the first half of their game yesterday before they woke up and won a game against Indianapolis. So you said gifted. I'm just curious, are you referring to the referees and some of the things that happened in those plays? Because there were some controversial penalties that were called. 2 of them I thought should not have been called. I'll break them down and you tell me what you think. Number one, the illegal contact on the Aldon Smith fumble recovery when Ben Roethlisberger fumbled. I didn't think that should have been called. I also thought, you know, Leighton Vander Esch did something that it was, to me, mild, and he got called for it. I did think, however, the hands to the face on Roethlisberger is roughing the passer. Anytime that happens, they protect quarterbacks. Your take on those 3, Chris?
Well, I thought that the illegal contact could have gone either way. That's sort of a 50-50 call in the NFL. Vander Esch is a classic case of like, if it were, pro wrestling, Ric Flair pokes the guy in the eyes while the referee isn't looking, and then the good guy tries to come back or something and hit him and gets caught. That was the clear second man with the hand in the cookie jar situation after McFarland tried to shove him out of there. As far as the hands to the face of Roethlisberger, though, to me, that was the most consequential penalty of the 3, and really the game-changing play in a lot of ways because it kept a drive going that otherwise wouldn't have, and the Steelers would have had to punt, probably get a stop, and then try to get to a really dicey situation. That's a letter of the law call. I believe Chris Hoke, correct me if I'm wrong, was not thrilled with that call.
No, you're right. He wasn't.
That's the rule, though. I think that's the nose tackle coming out in Chris Hoke, right? I mean, he's rushing the passer. There are limbs flying everywhere, but listen. Whether you like it or not, like the spirit behind the rule, that is the letter of it, and that's how it's called. And I've heard for years in this town, justifiably in some cases, that Ben Roethlisberger doesn't get protected by the officials the way other quarterbacks do. I would hope there are no complaints about that after yesterday because they called the rule nice and tight, and that got the Steelers, I think, what they needed to get a win.
Yeah, that was like a 3rd and 10 play that went incomplete. They called it, roughing the passer, new set of downs. And quite frankly, regardless of the intent, if you get your hands in that quarterback's face and it hit him to the point where it moved his head around, I think that is an automatic call. And I disagreed with Chris on that, but you're right. That's the nose tackle in him. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. We're going to take calls coming up. We're also going to talk about what happened on the field at South Bend, Indiana the other night. What a game that was in double overtime. And then all sorts of problems with social distancing. We'll get into that and more as we continue live right here. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call Pittsburgh CW. We're on the show 7 nights a week, so give us a call.